Good morning, Year 3 and 4. Welcome to another week of Maths at Home with Mrs. Whitley. In this week, we will be looking at naming and sorting angles, ordering angles, and then finally an angle investigation where you'll be able to choose an activity from one of 3 tasks. In this session, we are going to meet the angle family. We are going to start with Mr. Obtuse Angle, who you can see on the slide in front of you. He's the husband of the family. He's bigger than the right and the acute angle. He's always inside and always measures between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, depending on how much dinner he's eaten. On this slide, you will see Mrs. Right Angle. I always measure 90 degrees. My favourite shape is a square. Can you think why? And what's more, no matter what my husband tells you, I'm always right. On the slide in front of you, you will see baby acute angle. Isn't he cute? He loves a hug and always has his arms open for cuddles. He's the smallest of the family, measuring less than 90 degrees. This is Reflex. He is our pet dog. He's always outside. He's only a pup at the moment, so he measures 180 degrees, but he can grow up to 360 degrees. He's definitely the biggest angle. You'll never see him without the ball in his mouth either. Horrid thing. Now, the reflex angle isn't one that we will spend a lot of time looking at over the next few days, but it's definitely one worth remembering. Now that you've met everyone in the angle family, we're going to do a little quiz to see what you can remember. So I'm going to read out some clues and then I want you to have a think about which angle we are referring to. Okay, so the first one is, I always measure less than 90 degrees, I'm the smallest angle, and I'm very cute. Did you get it right? That's right, I'm the acute angle. Right, let's look at clue 2. Who am I? I'm always outside. I'm the biggest angle. I can measure between 180 degrees and 360 degrees. Did you get it right? That's right, I'm the reflex angle. Are you ready for clue 3? Who am I? I always measure between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. I'm always inside. I'm bigger than right and acute. Brilliant work, well done. I'm Mr. Obtuse Angle. That leaves Mrs. Right Angle. What clues could you use if you were going to create some clues for Mrs. Right Angle? Why don't you try and play this as a game with your family member or with a partner at school? Have fun! On the next few slides you will see a mild activity, a spicy and then a hot, and the last slide will be a challenge. What you need to do is look at the angles in front of you and you will need to choose 3 colours. You will need to colour the angles depending on whether they are acute, obtuse or a right angle. These sheets will come home as parent mail so that you can print them off as well. Have fun! Good morning, Year 3 and 4. Welcome to Tuesday's session of Maths at Home with Mrs. Whitley. I hope you're ready for your maths. Now, if you remember in our session yesterday, we looked at angles and we talked about their names using the angle family. In our session today, we're going to be looking at ordering angles depending on their sizes. So the first thing I want you to do is look at the screen in front of you, look at the angles that you can see. Can you remember the names of the angles? I want you to label the angles on the board in your book, 1 to 5, and then I want you to decide, are they acute? Are they right angles? Are they obtuse angles? Are they reflex angles? And then you'll see the answers on the next slide. As we're looking at ordering angles in this session, I want you to look at the 3 angles that you can see on the slide in front of you, labelled A, B and C. Which of the angles do you think is the largest? And write that letter name in your book. So in your book, you should have written the letter B because B is the largest angle out of A, B and C. A and C are acute angles, which means they are less than 90 degrees, whereas B is bigger than 90 degrees, but less than a straight line, which is 180. Looking at the shapes in front of you, A, B and C, I want you to have a little think about which shape contains the smallest angle. So in your books, you should have written the letter B, which has got the smallest angles. You will see that 2 of them on B are less than 90 degrees and are acute angles. Kaito is discussing angles. I have 3 angles, he says. One angle is obtuse, one is 90 degrees, and the other is acute. I think that the 90-degree angle is the smallest angle. Is he correct? Can you explain in your book your answer? Kaito is incorrect because an acute angle is smaller than 90 degrees. On the next few slides, you will see the mild task and the spicy task for this activity. What you will need to do is look at the angles in front of you and you will need to order them in size from the smallest to the largest and write the letter name in your book. On the screen in front of you, you will see the hot task for today's activity. What you need to do is order the angles from the smallest to largest and write the answers in your book. You need to draw an angle, E, to go in the place marked E in the box. So you will need to look at each number carefully, each question carefully, and look to see where the E is located. And that will decide how big or small, compared to the other angles, your angle will need to be. On the screen in front of you, you will see the hot answers for your task today, but you will also see an extra challenge, a chili challenge. The first thing you have to do is draw 4 of your own angles and order these. You can decide whether you do them smallest to largest or largest to smallest, but just make sure you label it in your book so anyone who's looking at your work will know what order you've done it in. The second activity is to look at the diagram in front of you and you need to see how many acute and obtuse angles there are in the diagram. Good morning, Year 3 and 4. Welcome to Wednesday's session of Maths at Home with Mrs. Whitley. In today's session, you can choose a task based on our angles work. So on the slide in front of you, you will see 3 different tasks. Number 1, find the football angles based on player positions. Task number 2, find and name any angles in the sport photographs. And task number 3, create your own angle picture with as many angles as you can. Once you've chosen the task that you want to do, and you can do more than one, it's completely up to you, but there's no pressure, you will only need to use the following slides that relates to the activity which you have chosen. I hope you have fun. Well done, Years 3 and 4, for all your hard work over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday session. For Thursday and Friday session, Miss Charman and myself will be uploading some more work on Mathletics and Purple Mash for you. We hope you have a really lovely weekend. Take care of yourselves and lots of love.